Hi, my name is Charles Dillard. I'm here, the Director of the Office of City Planning for the City of Burlington. We are here at the Community Sailing Center tonight and doing the third of 5 visioning sessions in support of PlanBTV 2050. Some folks out there might know or have heard of PlanBTV. That is the city's comprehensive plan, also known as the municipal plan. The state of Vermont requires that every town and city have one of these and that it updated every 8 years, so we're doing that. Coincidentally, however, the City Council passed 2 resolutions in the last year or so calling for a citywide transportation plan and a citywide economic development plan. Also happening is an update to the city's 2015 plan for the parks, recreation, and waterfront system. So for the first time in the city's history, we're doing all of this work together in a coordinated fashion. So again, the municipal plan element is an update to the city's highest level sort of planning policies and objectives that really govern the way we operate and set capital projects for the next 10 to 20 years. The economic development plan will focus on just that, policies and programs that the city can take downtown and throughout the city to encourage economic development for the community. The BPRW plan is, like I said, going to really set the stage for the next 10, 20 years of development of the city's parks and its waterfront, but also the programming that happens in these parks and on the waterfront. And the mobility element is just that. It's a plan to address transportation and mobility, really the way people get around Burlington. The state, as I mentioned, does require the towns and cities have a municipal plan, and there's a few things that are required in that and a few things that the comprehensive plan allows us to do, namely have zoning laws and collect impact fees for development. So this is a really important process. We're out here doing the first stages of visioning. This is going to be a 16-month-long process. We're mainly out here tonight and have been throughout the city confirming adopted plans and policies with the community, really to make sure that what is in our adopted plans is still relevant, and if it's not relevant, what are some new ideas that people have for Burlington. So we're going to walk through the room and talk about specifically the updates to each of these elements, and you'll get a chance to hear from my colleagues at the city. All right, so just to, again, set the stage, we are introducing folks to a lot of data, sort of background baseline data about our community, population, how we've changed in terms of housing, what the demographics of the city are. I think it's important, we think it's important that people have a good sort of understanding of what our community is and what it looks like before we start planning. Over here, this image is from the 2013 plan for the downtown and waterfront. So again, just sort of collecting people's sort of thoughts and feelings about what this image means and how it does or does not correspond to their vision of Burlington today, 12 years later. You can see some Post-it notes. We have been going throughout the community for the last week or so, and we're going to be wrapping up in the New North End next month. We started in the South End last Monday. And we were in the Old North End last week. We're here doing the downtown waterfront plan tonight, and we'll be in the east end of the city later this week. We'll finish up, like I said, in the New North End next month to coincide with a community workshop to unveil draft concepts for the PlanBTV New North End process, which is something going on right now. It's an area plan that we've been doing for the last year, just to plug that. So generally, again, we are out here tonight collecting feedback on existing plan policies and goals and asking folks if these goals, visions, objectives are still relatable. And what you're seeing here on these blue boards is the municipal plan or PlanBTV. You see a lot of green, so you see that there's still a lot of sort of relevance in the existing plans, policies. But we also have some Post-it notes where folks are leaving more sort of detailed comments about a lot of this work. That's generally how the boards are working across the room. I'm now going to pass it to Aaron Moreau, who manages the city's waterfront for Parks, Recreation, and Waterfront. And they're going to tell you a little bit about what this plan will mean for BPRW, and then you'll get another chance to hear from folks across DPW and CEDO on their own elements.
Thanks. Hi again, I'm Aaron Moreau from Burlington Parks, Recreation, and Waterfront, and we're really excited to be one of the departments part of this full city comprehensive planning initiative. In 2015, we completed our Parks, Recreation, Waterfront plan, and it was really instrumental in what projects we pursued and the priorities of our planning, programming, and events. And people can see that a lot of the last 10 years of our completed projects were really born out of community ideas from that last plan. So looking forward, a new plan for Burlington that integrates all city departments is absolutely instrumental in determining our priorities of what our department will do with our public spaces, facilities, waterfront, and how we program those for the public. And so I will walk down here and hand this off to my colleague, Phil of DPW.
Right.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Philip Peterson, Senior Transportation Engineer and Planner with the Department of Public Works. I am here also with Jason Charest with the Chittenden County Regional Planning Commission. Say hi, Jason.
Hello, everyone.
And I, along with a couple of my other colleagues in Public Works, we're managing the transportation element, which we're referring to as PlanBTV Mobility. Transportation plan in the city of Burlington hasn't been updated since 2011. And like anything in transportation, it's a dynamic thing. And we need to prepare for the future. It's a lot of housing goals. Burlington is expected to meet through Act 181 and other targets that we're trying to meet. And so we want to discuss those things with the public through these visioning workshops to discuss everything from how we walk and bike to transit, cars, everything transportation. And with that, I'm going to pass it off. Oh, what are all these charts? Well, these are some goals, right? So basically, over the past decade, we've advanced different plans. So it gets a little confusing. So when I talk about the transportation plan, and it hasn't been updated since 2011, I know that residents are aware that we've done other planning efforts. PlanBTV, walk, bike. We've done corridor studies. We've done other plans. But what we're talking about is taking all of those plans and putting them together and updating them. And this is kind of a summary of those different things, different plans. We have different ordinances like TDM, which is Transportation Demand Management, which can be a little confusing for folks. And then other things like complete streets, and we have great streets, other street design guidelines. We also have the Burlington School District Travel Plan. There's a lot. There's a lot involved. As I've discussed with my colleagues, it's like a mile wide and a mile deep. There's a lot involved and a lot of parts and pieces, and so we're here to talk to residents about those parts and pieces and get their input. And I'm going to pass it off to Jason Charest, who's our partner with the CCRPC for this planning effort.
Sure. Thanks, Philip. Well said. Hey, everyone. I'm Jason Charest with the Chittenden County Regional Planning Commission. And as Philip said, we're looking out to 2050 as part of this. So big picture, the city's going to grow. It's going to have a lot more people, a lot more housing. How are we going to accommodate people's everyday needs in terms of how they're getting from point A to point B, either within the city or going out of the city or coming into the city, specifically, for work. We have a lot of people that come into Burlington for jobs. How are we going to accommodate them? So we have various boards here that kind of serve as more or less a pulse check on how things are going within the city. There's several projects that have either been implemented or are in progress or are just kind of on the books, and the city hasn't been able to quite get to them yet. So we're kind of asking people to let us know what they think about all of these projects and ideas, and let us know which ones they support, which ones may be no longer relevant at this point, and they'd like to see us maybe shift positions. So we have a dog that is now joining us, so that's great. And who's next here? I think that's probably about all I have to say. You want to team up?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pass it over.
So one unique thing that we're doing with this planning effort that another country heard from, that we haven't done in the past is we have an economic development strategy that my colleagues in CEDO, Joe and Will, can talk about, but it's the first time we've talked about economic development in other plans and other planning efforts, but this is like the first full thing. So I'm going to hand it off.
Yeah, sure is. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the economic development element of the comprehensive plan. As Philip mentioned, economic development has always been a piece of prior plans, and we've also had other projects like the 2000 Legacy Project. We've had numerous jobs and people reports that have included a lot of data and strategic actions to promote healthy economic development in our city. And then over here we have boards that have all the economic development actions from from PlanBTV 2019 for the downtown and waterfront. And so we're asking the public today to come in and weigh in on whether they still feel like these actions are still a priority. As you can see, a lot of people still feel like these are important actions to work towards. And even though economic development has been within other plans, given the challenges we face today, it's more important than ever to have our own comprehensive economic development strategy for Burlington.
Good evening, everyone. In order to do this, we're looking to get as much community input as possible. So currently we are starting the first of many public engagement rounds where we're going to each neighborhood to really understand what residents want to see in their neighborhood. When it comes to the economic development side, what businesses and services each ward and neighborhood would like to see. And then when it comes to the city, we're really trying to understand what industries and ecosystem clusters to try to grow here in town. And given what's going on at the federal level, less grant funds and funding, we really want to understand what's the roadmap and where should we be spending our limited time and resources when it comes to business support and promoting certain industries in town. So looking forward to a long process and a lot of public engagement and really a community-informed economic development strategy.